Also, you've been asked to apply for the PS.
I'm coming to, I want to respond to all of them.
Yeah.
You know, Professor Jenda, Mheshimiwa Nelson, Charles here, Ruto, all these people, none of them uses chief share. All these people qualify, and they have a very comprehensive medical cover from Parliament, that even if Ojenda has a cold, Ojenda will be flown to South Africa to the best facility to treat his cold. So they are here telling Kenyans how great chief share is. Why can't we have this debate at Kenyatta Hospital or Mbagathi Medical District? You go and see what Kenyans are going through. You know, don't be con men, because what you are doing, I'm sorry to use that word, my apologies, you're not con men. I was looking for a better word. Don't try to gaslight Kenyans that this thing is good, it's working, it's good for you, when you and your family, you've been covered under a very comprehensive and very comfortable cover. And I like when Professor Ruto speaks. He says his main problem is chief share. It's something that the people are feeling. He's speaking from the ground. But these three wants to make it appear like everything is okay. Willis is just a whiner. You're just a complainant. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm in WhatsApp groups of many Kenyans today who keep adding me, asking me to help raise funds. In fact, people even tell me, don't even give us the money if you don't trust us. Just go to a facility and pay for that directly. We will appear there to get cover. So don't try to tell Kenyans that chief share is good, that it will be better. Tell Kenyans that chief share is messing up their lives, and your administration has failed to come up with a workable redundancy period to make sure that the transition from NHIF to chief share does not cause a loss of life. Because those who've died in between, even if after 5 years or 2 years chief share works, their lives will never be recovered. Their lives they're gone. So you should have worked on the redundancy period to make sure that at this transition we don't lose lives. Then the second thing you people talk about, that we've not defaulted in our debt. Look at the Constitution. What are the first charge? First charge of the Consolidated Fund, number 1 is debt. Number 2 is county. Number 3 is pensions. Those are the first charges. Pensioners have not been paid now more than 5 months. Is that not a default? It was a first charge. Counties, the fight is still going on. They are the ones begging for counties to be paid even as we speak. Is that not a default? Look at even some of the debts, the SGR debt.
It's not default, it's delayed.
No. It is default. The default simply means
the
fact that at the point when it is ought to be paid, you've not been paid. You've defaulted, even if you cure it subsequently. So there is already a default. But at what cost? At what cost? You are overtaxing Kenyans to pay for illegal debts. Debts that were taken without following the laws of this republic. Debts that were not applied to any project finance. Banks have given us 5.4 trillion shillings the last 12 years. Where is that project that is worth 5.4 trillion shillings in Kenya today? That you can tell us, we borrow from the domestic banks 5.4 trillion. These are the projects that those 5.4 trillion finance. It doesn't exist. And what did Parliament, yourselves, you don't even know what you approved. You people approved in 10 years, at least you are not there. You approved 2.2 trillion. How was the debt 5.4 trillion in that period? In fact, today, you're telling us the debt is almost 11 trillion. So even Parliament, you need to do your work. You seem to pay more focus and attention on politics than doing your oversight duty. You don't even know that when you pass the Appropriations Act, how much have you approved for the government to borrow? This year alone, in terms of development finance, in your own Appropriations Act, was 300 billion. And of that 300 billion, your president goes out to say, I'm going to borrow 1 trillion because you rejected finance bill. Where did you, as Parliament, pass that you are going to borrow 1 trillion? Because borrowing must get parliamentary approval. You need to understand and do your work as parliamentarians. Then I want to say this. If the economy is good, as you seem to imply, of course, for some of you, the economy is very good. And I look at your faces, you are very bright. Ojenda's suit is a brownie suit, is shiny. He's wearing a golden ring. Charles is looking at his best.
Are you naked?
So
Are you naked, Willis?
No, the economy is very good.
No,
let me finish. You'll have your time. Please, relax. You'll have your time. The economy is very good for you three. But for the Kenyan out there, we should be having this conversation at Jacaranda grounds so that we meet the real face of Kenyans as we are saying, Kenyans, your economy is very good. You've avoided debt distress. You have jobs. You are doing well. Hallelujah. Hosanna. Jesus is coming. That's the only thing you are waiting for. The real situation on the ground that Kenyans are going through. The real situation. Don't carry up your hands. You're talking about. You people put your hands down. When I was talking, when I was talking, you did. When you were talking, I kept quiet. Can you learn to keep quiet and listen? Because I'm not saying these things to attack you. I'm saying these things so that you can internalize them, and when you go back to your offices, you make sure that you do that which the Kenyan people expect you to do.
Okay.
So I'm saying this.
Yeah.
When we talk about the sufferings of our people, about the economy, families are sleeping angry. I was just yesterday with the University of Nairobi student who was telling me at the School of Economics alone, they admitted 3,000 students. Only 500 have reported in this academic year. Why? Because they are not able to afford. Majority of them have been forced to defer their studies. They cannot afford the school fees because you are told for you to report, you must pay the school fees full, 52,000 shillings per semester. And you must, 52,000 shillings, that is for accommodation, and the school fees is 150,000 Kenya shillings. And HELB is only giving them 20,000. If you're lucky, you get 40,000.
Okay.
And so let me say this.
Yes.
These problems that Kenyans are dealing with are real life problems. They are facing them every day. Let's stop pontificating.
Okay. Ruto.
Welcome back to Mora TV. In today's video, we are going to focus on what lawyer Willis Otieno and how he roasted some of the UDA worshippers who are trying to do everything else to praise the president. First of all, he talked about the university funding model, whereby he alleges that this university funding model is affordable to MPs and many other financially well-off people who think that it's suited for everybody, and that's why they are rounding out there praising it, not knowing that it's affecting the normal Kenyan. That's one of the issues he talked about. Apart from that, he says that the parliament has really focused too much on legislation and forgot all about the parliament has focused much on politics and forgot about legislation. That's why there are many public-private partnership programs which are being passed even without parliament, and they are very illegal because parliament must approve on this issue of loans. That means that there is a loophole in terms of legislation which has made these issues very possible. Now, he says that there is so much fights between the counties and the national government, whereby the counties are not receiving funding as is supposed to be. So, indeed, there's still a problem in terms of legislation and how monies are borrowed and how money are being misused and they're not being spent on the projects they are supposed to be. So, it seems that much of this borrowing Kenyans are paying for is illegal. And he talked about the Shifsha issue, suggesting that majority of the MPs are just praising President William Ruto because they are under the parliamentary budget, the parliamentary medical cover, which even with the slightest of the cold, the MP can fly to other wells of medical countries such as South Africa. But on the ground, they have not understood that Shifsha is not working and they're just there trying to insinuate a narrative that it's working so that they can praise the President William Ruto. He's saying that these people are just gaslighting residents and gaslighting citizens in the real sense that the Shifsha is not working. So they're just putting out a narrative out there that this medical issue or these medical insurances are working. He said that majority of these people in the panels are just well dressed, they're very well off, they have enough resources and enough financial manpower. So, but in the real sense, majority of the normal Kenyans are having not any of these privileges, but in terms of what the legislatures are doing, they are not considering the normal mwananchi. What do you think about it? Make sure you comment about it.